to Momentum in Real Estate, your guide to success in the dynamic world of real estate. I'm Corey Wolf.
And I'm Kristen James. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned pro, we're here to help you reach new heights.
Success in real estate comes from learning, growing, and serving others.
Join us as we dive into strategies for lead generation, marketing, market trends, and client relationships.
Get ready to ignite your momentum and achieve your goals in real estate.
Let's dive in and unlock your full potential.
This is Momentum in Real Estate.
Well, today we're thrilled to have Jaime with us, a powerhouse in the real estate and finance world. With over a decade of experience, Jaime's on a mission to help clients shape their financial futures, especially through non-traditional retirement investments. Recognized as one of Real Estate New Jersey's 50 women of influence and frequently featured in top publications like the Wall Street Journal and Business Week, she brings serious expertise and insight to our show. Welcome, Jaime.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm looking forward to our discussion. This is great.
Thank you so much, Jaime. We really appreciate it. Give us a little bit of your spiel on your life in real estate and what it's looked like.
Well, wow. Maybe this isn't long enough, but I'll give it a shot. I'll try to be brief. So, this is probably my third career, what I'm doing now. So I started out many moons ago in healthcare, but then quickly pivoted to real estate. I also have a property management firm that's been around for 30 years, and we specialize in affordable housing, but have done many different kinds of property management. Still have that, but deliberately downsized it. I've also been a real estate investor throughout my life and still dabble a little bit, but I'm getting a little too old for that now, looking towards retirement. So little bit much for real estate investment, but 20 years ago, I was looking for someone to hold an investment piece of real estate in my retirement plan, and I wasn't able to really find out exactly how that works. And so, interestingly, I met someone at a real estate conference, and he was in that business and looking for somebody to open up a territory, and kind of the rest is history. Here I am with a trust company and a third-party administration company specializing in non-publicly traded assets in retirement plans. So that's the Cliff Notes version.
So your experience in real estate was not in production as a real estate agent, but more on the investing, buying property, and then obviously the property management side of the house.
Exactly. And so I am a licensed New Jersey real estate broker and have been for, I guess almost 30 years. But no, never really did anything in sales. But I'm kind of looking forward to maybe exploring that a little bit once I retire. Because, you can sort of set hours or specialize in what you want to specialize in. So that could be my fourth career. Who knows?
Absolutely. So in New Jersey, do you, as a licensed broker, do you hang your license with a particular brokerage?
It's hanging in my property management company. So I'm the broker of record for the property management company. So that's where my license lives.
Got it. Super interesting. So let's dive into this whole topic of self-directed retirement plans. Tell us what they are, how they work. And, we've said our audience is real estate agents, some of whom may be familiar with some of this topic of conversation and others may not. So feel free to kind of give us the fifth grade version of self-directed retirement plans.
Sure. Well, the first thing to know is self-directed retirement plans have the same rules and act exactly the same way as regular retirement plans that you might have at your bank or a brokerage. The sole difference is that custodians who specialize in this type of retirement plan allow you to invest in the entire range of investments that the IRS says is okay in these plans. And that's also an easy thing. The IRS says that the only thing that is not allowed to be invested in is life insurance and collectibles. So everything else by default is okay. The collectible part is a little distressing to me I'm a wine collector and a wine drinker, and I've been trying for 20 years to try to figure out a way to put wine in my retirement plan, but I can't. So that's unfortunate. But the other thing is, real estate happens to still be the number one asset type that people are interested in investing in with their retirement plan. And so that could be, I want to buy an investment property on the coast someplace because I want to be able to rent it out, and something on the coast should appreciate pretty substantially in value. There's not a lot of beachfront properties. They're not making any more beachfront these days, right? So that's still the number one investment type. So people will invest directly into that, meaning that their retirement plan will actually be the deed holder for that property. Or they may form an entity in which to purchase the real estate within. So they might form an LLC, and their retirement plan is the sole member of the LLC to buy real estate. But you can also invest in mortgages. You can give a mortgage to someone. You can do hard money lending with your retirement plan based on real estate. So there's all kinds of ways to do real estate investing with your retirement plan with various strategies. So agents that know about this strategy, number one, there's about $10 trillion in IRAs in the United States right now. So if a real estate agent knows about this strategy and works with real estate investors, she can tap into that $12 trillion that's sitting in IRAs to get more buyers for their real estate. And, you know, agents, you are an expert in this product. How fortunate that you are an expert in this product. So you can also use your retirement plan to invest in what you know best and get returns. So the caveat for these investments, and most specifically real estate, is that the IRA owner may not use the property personally, can't have any current benefit from it. So all the rental and all the expenses have to flow in and out of the IRA. And there are some disqualified people, right? So your spouse, your parents, your grandparents, and your kids are all disqualified. So you couldn't purchase a house in a college town and have your kid rent that house because it's not allowed, right? And the penalties for prohibited transactions are pretty big. But there's so many things that are allowable and that you can do that, you know, there's really no need to try to skirt those rules. Was that a scaled down version of kind of all the things?
Amazing. And it's spurred all sorts of questions for us. I am like, whoa. Can we take a step
Ask
back?
away.
So, okay, my mind's a little blown, so I apologize. So you can use your retirement, your IRA to purchase real estate, yes?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And then you're saying, once I do that, I can put the deed in the retirement plan and then have that cash flow into my retirement plan. And it can be part, oh my goodness. She's shaking her head. Yes, you guys, that's amazing.
And in fact, you must do that, right? So let's go through an example quick to see if it solidifies this more. Let's say that you have an old employer 401k and you're not with that employer anymore, and you've got like $300,000 in that account. Well, now you decide, you know what? It's sitting at my old employer and there's a lot of fees getting racked up because it's an employer-based plan. I want to use that money to help me become more secure when I retire. So here's what happens. You're going to open an IRA account with a custodian like ours, Next Generation Trust Company. Once that account is opened, that money is going to be transferred from your 401k into your IRA. And I'm using transfer, but there's, you know, you can roll it over. There's a bunch of ways to do that, right? But the money is going to go from your old employer 401k to your IRA. So now you have $300,000 and you say, I saw this great rental property for $200,000. It's turnkey. I have to do nothing. I want to buy that property with my IRA. You tell us as the custodian, I want to buy 123 Main Street, and you send us the contract. We review it to make sure that it's vested properly in the name of the IRA. We take care of the closing for you. Everything is done remotely, generally speaking. We will send on your IRA's behalf the deposit or earnest money to hold that property. You're going to do whatever it is you do, whether you want to do inspections. But again, remember, all of those expenses, including expenses, have to come from your IRA. And we send that out for you. That's part of what we do as custodian and administrator. The closing happens. We send the rest of the $200,000 to the attorney or title company handling the closing. And now Corey Wall, IRA number 1234, owns 123 Main Street, and the deed is in your IRA's name. We hold on to the deed for safekeeping, as that's proof of the investment. And then, generally speaking, people use a third party, like a local management company, to find renters for them and make sure that it's leased. But all of the rent comes back to your IRA. All of the expenses come out of your IRA. Tax deferred or tax free. Tax deferred if it's a traditional IRA. Tax free if it's a Roth IRA. And then what happens is your IRA is accumulating rental income and your property is also appreciating. So you get the best of both worlds, and it's tax deferred or tax free in that retirement account. So think of how much you can boost up the balance in your retirement account with rental income and capital appreciation.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Okay.
an amazing strategy.
So what if I only had 40,000? Can I use part of my savings and part of my retirement money?
The short answer is yes, but that becomes a little more complicated because remember, you are technically disqualified from your IRA. So if you partner with yourself, it's allowable, but certain tests have to be looked at. But here's the other thing. You can mortgage a property that's being held within your IRA. So think about that for a second. You're not going to do it. So you're not going to do that. I know, it's amazing, right? And I'm so happy when people's minds are blown. I just love doing that. So you're not going to use your local community bank to get this mortgage because generally speaking, as you know, 1 to 4 families are personally guaranteed by the purchaser of the property. And it's not allowable for the owner of the IRA to personally guarantee a loan that the IRA makes. But there are lenders who specialize in making loans to IRAs to purchase property. And so the interest rate is likely to be a bit higher because it's more risky for them. And, you're going to pay a larger down payment, again, because it's more risky for them, but it's absolutely doable. And if you don't want to, here, I'm going to blow your mind again. If you don't want to pay a higher interest rate and you don't want to put more of a down payment down because you feel the terms are a little too onerous, go to your network of people who are not your family members and disqualified, and they can give you a mortgage on that property, either with their personal money or with their retirement funds. So the whole thing could really be done. Corey, you can buy the property with your IRA, and Kristen, you can give her IRA a mortgage to buy that property. And so you're getting income, Kristen, from the mortgage back into your IRA, and Corey owns a property in hers. Real estate agents.
Oh my goodness, we're going into business together. Not like we aren't already.
It's an amazing strategy and a very powerful tool to build wealth for retirement.
And
Well-
we just heard that 501c, or not 501c, that's nonprofit. 529, isn't that for college fund?
Yeah, education savings plans. Mhm.
Yes, so we've just heard this, and I have not used it for my personal clients yet, but you can purchase a house and have your kid rent it with that 529. You can purchase it. Supposedly, one of our other realtor partners did that. So that might be interesting to look into too.
That I don't know about, but education savings accounts. So all types of IRAs, traditional Roth, SEP for self-employed, all of them can be self-directed. We have, and for agents who are obviously self-employed, right? You could have a SEP IRA, you could have a solo K and use that for the investments. And then health savings accounts and education savings accounts can all be self-directed as well. So you can kind of pool all of those accounts together and buy a property if you so choose. You can partner with others. You can partner with others' retirement plans. So the possibilities really are endless as long as you follow the rules that are set in front of you. And those rules are really not that onerous. You just have to be aware of them.
So, in terms of your practical example of finding a property and wanting to purchase that with the IRA, would we as agents still negotiate that deal? It's just that your company or whoever the custodian or administrator is would be the one to like review the contract before everything is like solidified.
Yes. And the other thing to know, since my audience is agents, and I have to keep that in mind because there's some small things. So Corey, if you had a property that you listed and you wanted your IRA to buy it, you would not be able to make the commission on that property because, again, self-dealing, right? You couldn't make the commission, but you can certainly say, hey, Kristen, you make the commission on this because it's appropriate for my investment and for my IRA. So I'm going to forego the commission. A friend or somebody else can take that commission. So you just have to be careful of things like that. But agents still do whatever it is that they do. They're a big part of the process, as always. But you're just knowing about this frees up, again, trillions of dollars in IRA money that your investors may not even know that they're able to use. So it gives you something more to talk about with your investors that you sell to all the time. And your own retirement plan, again, why do you want to be limited to the stock market that you may or may not understand? I'm invested in the stock market, but I have a financial guy. When he speaks to me about what he's doing, when I'm on the phone with him, I understand everything he says. When I hang up, I'm like, why is he doing? What is he doing? You know what I mean? It's not my area of expertise. So as a real estate investor, I get that. I know markets, I know lease rates, I know, right? So again, that's my thing. So agents, invest in what you know best.
That is so brilliant. Like, I have goosebumps all over my body because not only is it, you could help yourself, you could own some property because most of us realtors want to because we see how well our sellers are doing. But number three, like, I would love nothing more than to give Kristen a deal right now when I can get the commission for me. I mean, like, you could help another realtor colleague out. Like, how cool is that? That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to be a little careful. I'm going to throw some little known facts in here just to keep everybody on the straight and narrow, right? If you say, hey, Kristen, I want to buy this with my IRA and you are going to get the commission, you're not able to like require that she reciprocate with you. Like, now Kristen's going to have her IRA do something and Corey, you're going to get the commission. Like there shouldn't be any quid pro quo or anything like that because IRS doesn't like that either. But again, very minimal rules, very common sense rules, and very easy to maneuver and navigate.
Wow. So I know you mentioned this at the front end, but I want to revisit it. Like, how did this become kind of like, when was your mind blown in terms of like, wow, there's a real opportunity here on the real estate like investment front?
Well, I knew that it was possible because of things that I was reading online. But, so the first thing I did is went to my financial advisor, right? I've been using him for 30 years, I guess. So I was like, I want to do this. And he goes, you're not allowed. And I go, yeah, you are. I already know that you are, but I don't exactly know how. So we went through all kinds of stuff. So then he became convinced that, yes, you can do it. The platform he uses is Schwab. So he said to me, I spoke to the folks at Schwab, and since I have so many clients and stuff, they said they don't normally do this, but they would hold the deed for you. And I'm like, well, I think you really need somebody who knows what they're doing. And if like they've not done this, I don't think that's really a good idea. And so at least I had the presence of mind to know that that probably wasn't advisable. And then, like I said, I went to this NAR conference out in Arizona and met a gentleman who has a company like this and who's had it since, the late 70s. And he was looking for people to join his network of offices throughout the country. And he had the Northeast in mind. And when I told the story about my financial advisor, he goes, hey, do you think he would be interested in this business? And I said, I wouldn't even ask because now I'm interested in this business. So when I actually met this guy and realized that there was a whole industry surrounding, doing these kinds of investments, that's when my mind was really blown. So 20 years later, here we are, started out as part of that national network. After about 2-3 years, I went off on my own, and the rest is history.
I literally want to hang up and call my dad. I want to call another client that I'm thinking about. I want to help myself. I just really appreciate this. This is so awesome. How long has this strategy been around? Like since retirement plans, or is it like a newer thing?
No. As a matter of fact, ERISA is the law that was put in place to create IRAs. And ERISA is celebrating 50 years this year while we're celebrating 20. And the strategy was available then. The laws were written the same as they are now. So non-publicly traded investments were always allowed. But here's what happened. When IRAs were formed, the banks and the traditional brokerages jumped on that bandwagon and started advertising like crazy to get investors' dollars in their institutions. And so they didn't have a vested interest in saying you can also do these non-publicly traded things because, number one, they didn't really know how to treat those investments. And number two, they didn't really make that much money from offering those investments. They made more money the banks made money on their CDs and, interest-bearing accounts. The brokerages made money on trades. So they took over all of the advertising, and this sort of was relegated to a strategy that mostly the wealthy people used because they understood it and knew that they could. And so for years, the wealthy have been using these strategies to build wealth for their retirement. And we have been publicly educating everyone for 20 years as loudly and as often as we could so that this can become available to everyone who really wants to use it and it makes sense for.
Well, that's incredible. And I do want to spend a moment on this 20-year anniversary. Congratulations, by the way. That's awesome. What would you like our audience to know kind of related to your 20th anniversary? What sort of resources are available? Where can they go to find those? Is there anything else you want to share around your 20th anniversary that would be relevant for our audience?
Yes, as a matter of fact, for our 20th year, so our website is nextgenerationtrust.com. And there are numerous resources on our website. There are white papers that explain in detail how the strategy works. how to set up your first self-directed IRA, how to invest in real estate. And for our 20th anniversary, we're having a drawing on all new accounts until the end of the year. And one lucky winner gets two $20 credits to use, one for our first 20 years and one for our second 20 years, we're hoping. And what we've also done is we have a YouTube channel, also Next Generation Trust Company, I think it's under. If you do a search, you can find it. And also in celebration of our 20th year, we've released all of our webinars and all of our videos to the public so that they can really look at everything. Also, I'm happy to act as a resource, but we also have staff that's ready to answer questions. Our claim to fame is our customer service. So a live person answers the phone during business hours. Don't fall off your chair. Trained, well-credentialed folks answer the phone. We're a small boutique firm, so we have a small, well-trained staff that's ready to answer questions. We also have live chat on our website that can be utilized, and that also is answered during business hours by live staff members. So, we've got people ready to go to answer questions during business hours. Email we can respond to. So we've got loads of resources available and loads of people to act as additional resources for questions and things like that.
Gosh, that's amazing. I feel like I have 5,000 questions, but I don't think I can even start. I mean, my brain's just wrapping around it all.
I think my
Kristen, do you have-
action step is to call my the company that holds my employer sponsored 401k and be like, how much do I have in this account? Like,
Is it your current employer though, Kristen?
No, a previous employer.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
I've got that going on too.
Yeah,
Both of
like
us.
I've been
both of us
gone,
do.
10 years from that company. So yeah. So very interested in exploring the possibilities. Yeah, as Corey mentioned, we often talk about and have a real interest in investing in real estate ourselves. We work with investor clients and see the power of it. And we're kind of relatively younger in our real estate careers. So this is like a new avenue for us to explore, both for ourselves personally, but also for our clients and family members.
Yeah, it's an extremely powerful tool for individuals to use to build wealth for retirement. And it's an extremely powerful tool for real estate agents and brokers to use to build wealth for their own retirement. How often do folks get to invest in the thing that they know the best, right? So very powerful stuff. And, the other thing that you should know is I don't know if you work together at a brokerage or anything, but we also do webinars to real estate agents and brokers in their office to explain the process and go in more detail. So that's something that we offer too. If somebody wants to know more or offer it to their office, we can also work with agents and brokers to offer webinars like that to pools of investors that you might have. So we do lots to partner and support brokers and agents in this journey.
Well, that's amazing because we, a constant theme in our industry is like, how do we add value? How do we add value to our buyers, our sellers, our investors? And so this has just opened up another lane, for us to consider in terms of how do we continue to add value to those in our sphere and our networks and our past clients.
Yeah.
And especially now, like I'm so inspired to go try to do this because there's so many people right now that are living in hotels with Hurricane Helene just hitting us in Western North Carolina. So many people that need spaces to live. Like if I could figure out how to fill that need right now, and so many investors are flocking to our area for this reason as well. Like what an incredible resource and touching point right now. So thank you.
Well, I'll also say that it's interesting that you bring that up, but this strategy has always been available and it has always helped communities. Whether it helps communities by providing housing, like you just mentioned, but the other areas of investment, not to go too far afield from real estate, because I know that's where we are, but it's somewhat related. People who have self-directed retirement plans oftentimes invest in small businesses as well. So that helps Main Street in the communities have viable, well-funded businesses that what venture capital or private equity fund is backing a guy or a girl who wants to open a Dunkin' Donuts franchise, right? Or, wants to open a hair salon or whatever it is, right? A deli. Nobody's helping those folks. So people who want to do angel investing and help Main Street and, small mom and pop businesses, this is an avenue for them to do that too.
Which is just kind of doubling down on Corey's train of thought there. Our market in general is a very entrepreneurial, it's filled with artisans and creatives, and it's music, it's art, it's small business owners, entrepreneurs. That's who is in our market. And tourism really runs our economy. And so we have so many folks in our community who've lost their businesses and are trying to rally and figure out, how do I get my ceramic shop back up? How do I get my woodworking studio back online? So this is incredible, just in terms of things that we can continue to think about and explore ways to help those artisans in our community, revive their businesses.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know I said I was going to check email and finish my emails today, but no, I'm going to be on the phone. I just really appreciate you, Jamie, being here, and we'll put all of her links and everything in our bio in this recording. So just really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, Jamie. Any parting words before we go?
Thank you for having me. It's been a real pleasure talking with you both. I'm happy you're returning to a bit of normalcy now. And I will just say, both of you, please feel free to use me as a resource. And, I'm happy to answer questions offline or however you want to do it. I'm here for you to be a resource.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Momentum in Real Estate. We hope you found valuable insights and strategies to propel your real estate journey forward.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us continue to deliver content that resonates with you. Remember, success in real estate is about continuous learning, growth, and serving others. Keep that momentum going and watch your business thrive.
Until next time, keep pushing forward and bringing your real estate dreams to life.
This is Corey Wall
and Kristen James signing off from Momentum in Real Estate.